At the time that Margaret went missing, I didn't have children, but I desperately wanted children. And it struck me at the time that if I ever was blessed and lucky enough to have children, I would never, ever leave them, no matter what. Then, as the investigation went on, I became a mother. There's no way that I would ever leave a 5-month-old child to be raised without a mother. I don't believe it. I don't believe she just disappeared the way it was reported to police. Another reason that I do not believe Margaret Haddocken McEnroe just took off and left her 3 children is because of the circumstances surrounding her disappearance. First of all, her nature. She was inspired after 9/11, 9/11 to join the military. She was a hero. She actually saved lives as a firefighter. This is not the kind of woman who would just take off and leave her children behind. No, this is a hero mom. She would just leave them. It's not her nature. It's not in her to do this.
What would you tell her if she's watching?
To call somebody, or if have somebody else call someone, anyone, but or just come home.
Margaret Haddocken was a volunteer firefighter in her community, her local town, and it was actually at a fire. She was fighting a fire when she met the man who would later become her husband, Timothy McEnroe. He was also a volunteer firefighter from a different town, but they'd both been called to fight this garage that was on fire, a pretty major fire. And at first they just were friends, but then they realized they lived near each other. They started seeing each other more often just around the neighborhood. They would sometimes attend a lot of the same volunteer firefighter training and drills. So they just got to know each other that way, and it sort of evolved into a romance and then later their marriage.
She had come to our house and she was wearing knee braces. She was wearing them on the outside so you could actually see the knee braces. And she had asked me that if I would take her. She had made arrangements with an orthopedist, and she had asked me if I would come pick her up and take her to the orthopedist when she was going to have the surgery. And it was going to be in about a week or 2 from the day that she was visiting us. And I said, yeah, I could do that. I was wondering why she was asking me, but so I agreed to it. And during the conversation, it was shortly after that, a little bit of a quick conversation, when she got my agreement, she was on the phone. And she was pacing around, and it was fairly obvious she was agitated over something. And I don't hear that well, so I wasn't quite sure what was going on, what the conversation was. So I asked her, what were you, or who was that? And I said, and she said, that was my bleeping husband. I'm going to divorce him, or I should divorce him. I don't remember the exact words, but it was one of those statements. And that was about it. That was the last time I saw her, was actually during that conversation, and that last statement was the last I've heard or talked to Margaret.